Well, speaking about proximity to power, and since I have you on a jukebox of rage, and I want to test out your new meditative practices, which I commend you. You actually stopped yourself and you took a breath. But speaking about closeness and proximity to whiteness, Tim Scott.
Oh, dear God.
We haven't talked about him, but two big things happened with Tim Scott. He allegedly proposed to a live human female adult who accepted his proposal. So now he's engaged to marry a live female human adult. That's wonderful. And then he decided to go to New Hampshire, stand behind Donald Trump, the man who complained that there's a lot of immigrants coming here from shithole countries, a man who dined with Nick Fuentes, a white nationalist, a man who said that the white nationalists, the neo-Nazis, and the KKK who assembled at Charlottesville and who chanted the Jews will not replace us were very fine people. And with a big toothy smile, he sat there and just vouched for Trump. Danielle.
No, he didn't just vouch for him, Waj. Tell them what he said.
What did he say? Oh, you said
here's
and he also threw Nikki Haley under the bus. Nikki Haley from his own state.
Right. Because when Donald Trump said to Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, she appointed you, she's from your home state. You must really hate her. That's what Donald Trump said to Tim Scott. Tim Scott's response, no, I just really love you. I just love you so much. Let me tell you something, folks. There are terms, there are words that I will not use on said show about Tim Scott and Black people, people of color like Tim Scott. But no matter how much you kiss the ring, no matter how low you bend your head, they will never love you.
They will never love you.
Because you do not have the complexion for the protection. You do not have the complexion to be in their country clubs, to be on their ticket, right? To when Tim Scott was running in that, literally faceless campaign that he ran, because that, folks, was the avatar that he used, just a black face, no eyes,
no eyeballs, no teeth, no nose,
no teeth, no nothing, because that's what he thinks about himself, because that is the kind of party that he is in. They said that he was gay. They called him everything but a child of God, right? And what did Tim Scott turn around and do? Go right back to massa. So, let me tell you something. There are always people like this, right? Like, there's whole movies and series and books and things written about people like Tim Scott. Here's the difference, though, between him and Clarence Thomas. At least Clarence Thomas is getting paid.
That's right. At least get paid.
Like, at least if you're going to kiss the ring, if you're going to, the word is not, what's the word that he's doing, Watch? Because it's not even humbling yourself. What is the word?
It's being a masochist.
Right.
An amoeba.
Spineless,
spineless.
Weak. The opposite of whatever you believe
poodle,
is the alpha male. To be the lapdog for
That's
white
right.
supremacy, right?
Footstool.
The footstool, at the very least, the lawn jockey. I can keep going. At the very least, Clarence Thomas is like, well, in order for me to keep my mouth shut for 25 years, you're going to have to pay me. So
you know what? Work
there
the hustle.
You go.
At least make money from the hustle. That if you're really in this hustle, make money, get paid. Because at least a part of me then says, you know what, bro? At least you paid your bills. All right, you took the white man's money. But this guy seems to do it for free.
Free.
That's the worst part. It's that quote from, and that's the Republican Party right now, what they've done to Trump and how they've taken a knee to white supremacy. There's a great quote from Bourne Identity, which comes back in the last one, the Bourne Ultimatum, where these assassins who are brainwashed, right, as they're dying, they have this moment of clarity. And Clive Owen's character, because he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's been brainwashed. So they get triggered to go kill Matt Damon. And Matt Damon shoots him. And as he's dying, he's holding out his bleeding gut. And he looks at Matt Damon and he goes, look at what they make you give. And in the last one, before Matt Damon jumps off and survives, there's another actor who's like him, brainwashed, and he's chasing him. And he has him dead to rights. And he looks at him and he goes, look at what they make you give. And the saddest part about the Republican Party is that they're not making them give it. They're willingly give it. They're willingly debasing themselves. And I called Nikki Haley, and since you went after Tim Scott, I have to go after my own. Nikki Haley is now seen as the independent savior of the Republican Party. And I want to tie things together and show folks and prove to folks that this is the Republican Party, folks. There's no moderate in the Republican Party, because Nikki Haley, whom I've referred to as the Manchurian candidate, has said that America is not a racist country. When she was asked point blank what caused the Civil War, she did not say slavery. She's the one that took down the Confederate flag, but now ignores it completely from her campaign ad, right? She's the one who told Raphael Warnock, a black man, to go back to his country. She's the one who has forgotten her own family's history of coming here thanks to the 1965 Immigration Nationality Act, where her brown father was able to come into the United States and be a professor where? At a historically black college. And speaking about the complexion, what did Donald Trump say? I bring this up almost every episode. When she was brought forth as a potential VP candidate, she has a complexion problem. And so even if you get the moderate Nikki Haley, and this is what really bothers me, because I'm looking at the New Hampshire results and the analysis, she won over independents. She's the moderate voice. This is the moderate. This is the moderate. Open your eyes, mainstream media. Open your eyes, mainstream institution. This is the present and future of the conservative movement and Republican Party. They are telling you exactly who they are. And I want Biden to go back to the Biden that accidentally called out the extremist MAGA movement. Remember that? In a fundraiser. I want him to call out and name these people. And I want the Democrats to put on their brass knuckles and fight, because literally they're coming after LGBTQ folks. They're coming after our books. They're coming after black folks. They're coming after Muslims. They're coming after women. And I want Democrats to sound the alarms and rally the Avengers, freaking be like Captain America and Doctor Strange and open up the portals and say, we got all of you. We're going after Thanos. And Thanos is white supremacy.
1,000%. And I will say to close here that, our friend was on MSNBC, Jason Johnson. And he said, when asked about, Biden's messaging, does he need to change his messaging? And he said, no, he doesn't. This isn't a game about the right message, the wrong message. We need a wartime president because we are at war. We are at war with the Republican Party. We are at war with white supremacy. We are at war with people who do not believe in the Constitution and the rule of law. And they are showing us that they are not giving up, right? That it isn't just Trump. It is infused in every avenue, in every place. While we were all celebrating the wins that we have seen over the last 60 years, and frankly, over the last 8 years, right? They were working overtime. They were working overtime. While we were celebrating marriage equality, they were thinking about the Supreme Court.
That's right.
While we were saying to ourselves, oh, we're going to have the first woman president, they're like, get back in the kitchen because we're going to ensure that you have to birth those babies through forced labor, right? All of the things, while we were celebrating the first Black president of the United States, they were saying to themselves, he will be the last because we're going to roll back affirmative action. We're going to roll back access to education. We're going to roll back everything that we possibly can that is, quote unquote, leveled the playing field, right? So at the end of the day, if this current president, does not start acting like we are at fucking war with white supremacists who disavow democracy in favor of authoritarianism, we are not going to get that Avengers moment that we need in order to win 2024.